I'm happy we're on specifically the topic of alcohol, because I think it's important. I want to bring up Rafi's question. Rafi's also a regular guest. He's also been on the show. As a man, I would say the most gray area about this topic for us is sex under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Is that always rape? If so, are we all guilty? And I think what Rafi's saying, so it's it's clear. I mean, it should be clear to everybody. If a woman is unresponsive and you sleep with her, that is rape. I mean, that. Let's make that crystal clear. But there are many instances where men and women are drunk together. They're partying together. They end up having sex, and the next morning, they both realize that they were more drunk than they thought they were. The woman may regret it and feel like she had a bad experience. The man at the time just thought he was having sex with somebody who, was a mutual partner. So I think that's the gray area he's talking about. So I'm wondering what you all think about how we should approach that tricky topic, because women and men getting drunk together and having fun together is common. What's the judgment that should be made? When we're in those situations.
I can tell you that when I was raising my sons, although I didn't speak a lot about the important issues.
Sorry to cut you off. I forgot to mention this. I am one of Judy's sons. I didn't mention that Judy Weiss is my mom, so just for a little bit of reference. Sorry. Continue.
But when I raised my sons, we didn't have a lot of discussions about rape culture, again, because I was incredibly unaware of how toxic the society I had been raised in was, and I just wasn't aware. I currently can take responsibility for my lack of awareness. But what I always told my sons was, if you go to a party and a woman is trashed, that is not a woman that you should be having sex with. So that was kind of the bottom line. And I think for multiple reasons. One, because a woman who's totally trashed and is drunk, and you don't know if she's really consenting. She might be too drunk to be consenting. And number two, as the mother of sons, I never wanted my son to be in a situation where he had, sex with the woman he thought was consenting and then discovered that she wasn't. And I think that to be safe, it doesn't make sense to put yourself in those situations. Now, that's not a very practical answer, because you're right, Adar. People go out, they party, they're both drunk. And then does that mean every time you're both drunk, you shouldn't have sex? Well, I don't know if I know the answer to that.
I would just like to share. Sorry for interrupting you. I just like to share that I've put myself in that experience many times. I actually quit drinking when I was 21 because I realized that I kept having those experiences where I would sleep with someone intoxicated and then regret it later. And I realized, looking back on it in hindsight, that most of the times I would drink was in order to let go of that reasoning voice that I had to differentiate between what's best for me and what might feel good in the moment for instant gratification. So I think that if you enjoy drinking, maybe drink less and not get to the point where you're questioning what your morals are and what your desires are. I think if you get to that point, you've gone way too far. Or learn from that later. I think you have two choices right now to decide, like, to forgive yourself for your past experiences and to decide from now on to be more responsible about how you drink, or to realize that it's something that can continue happening. But you do have a choice in that sense.
And Shirley, when you talk about that, how do you advise a man in that situation? Because that question came from a man, and I think it's a very valid, difficult question to answer. How do you answer that question? Like, does that mean a man should never really sleep with a woman who's
No, I don't think it's his fault at all. Like, if she gives consent and in the evening and in the morning regrets it, that I think that's her responsibility.
I think it's a super complex issue because each case is special. It also depends on the dynamic between the people. Did you know each other beforehand? Is it the first time you're being intimate with that person? Is it happening on the premises of the party between two doors? Are you back at one of yours place? We have to stop pretending that a rape is a cliche. every rape, and again, rape culture is not only about rape, but it's everything that leads to rape. So all those dynamics, all those social norms of, oh, I'm going to have sex because that's how I'm going to look cool, or I'm going to be drunk and have sex because that's how I am cool. Like, all of those things we need to question, and we need to realize that, yes, it's gray, yes, it's complicated, because it's part of this society and of this culture where we want people to lose responsibility, but within, like, where men will never be judged for having sex with too many women, and women will be judged by how they behaved and how close they were to certain men. So having sex while intoxicated at a party and being visibly intoxicated and intimate with someone, the social judgment will always come on the woman. The social pressure will always come on the woman. So I understand in the comment here that it's like, yeah, but if both were drunk, the man is going to be, the woman is always a victim. First, no. But just think that everything that leads to this moment, that's the woman is being judged and not the man. We're seeing the woman as a slut and not the man. And the morning after, we'll see the girl as a slut and not the boy or the man. So be responsible for that too, and change that too. And maybe being trashed while you have sex is maybe not the best idea. And maybe it's something we can put on pause in our lives. And I don't think it would affect your daily level of happiness that much. Because if you can't,
it'll probably make it better.
Yes, if you can't be intimate with a person in a sober way, maybe there's an issue there. But
Right.
We're not trying to say, oh, never have a drink and have sex. It's bad. No. But everything between, how often, with who, do you know them? Where is it happening?
Right.
It's a complex
Be more intentional. I think it's about being more intentional how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think if a man is out there and is with a woman who is, visibly very drunk, and he's questioning that, it even enters his mind, it's probably
no.
It's just a bad idea. It's just a bad
any
idea.
doubt.
Yeah,
Stop
it's a
it.
bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be real, drunk sex isn't as good as and high sex, that's a different story. But drunk sex, we could live with that.